This is such a good Beatrix Potter letter that I feel I have to read it all the way through. Here it is, to Bolton Gardens. Well, Bolton Gardens now is a children's playground, which I think is a rather nice thing. It starts, "My dear Marjorie, Miss Woodward sent me such a nice little letter which you had written for me, and I was so much pleased to hear about your little white bunnies. My bunnies are always brown, but I had once had a clear white rat with pink eyes, and I don't know if he wrote letters, but I think if he did, he would look like this." And there's this wonderful little picture of the little rat, and she's actually put in little pink eyes there, which I think is tremendous. And then it goes on. He was always very fond of quill pens, and once he stole a stick of sealing wax and 2 matches, and another time he put his nose into the ink bottle by mistake. So I think he must have wanted to write to you. He was very fat and lazy and spent most of his time in bed, and here it is, this wonderful pink rat again, in bed. When he was awake, he was never out of mischief, but he was so very good-tempered. I really could not scold him, not even when he ate 2 fingers off a new pair of gloves. His name was Sammy. He used to come running after me when I called him, just like a little dog. I was very sorry when he died. I've got a rabbit and a squirrel now. I bought 2 squirrels, but the one I called Nutkin, and here is a picture of Nutkin, who was much the handsomest, was so very savage I was obliged to take him back to the shop. So I only have one now called Twinkleberry. He's getting quite tame. I made a little sleeping box for him. My little bunny is sitting on the table licking my hand all the time. There's the sleeping box for the squirrel. I am writing so that I can hardly hold the pen. So good night, and you and Keith shall have another book next Christmas from yours affectionately, Beatrix Potter. And there's kisses being sent by the rabbit and the little squirrel, the squirrel Twinkleberry. Well, that's lovely. Now tell me about it. Who is it written to?
It's written to my mother.
How did you know Beatrix Potter?
My grandmother was an artist, and she had met Beatrix Potter through Miss Woodward, who was an illustrator of children's books.
Right. Well, this is written in 1903, and Beatrix Potter had really only just started on her fame, I suppose. 1902 was the date of Peter Rabbit. 1903 was Squirrel Nutkin, I think. So really, this is quite early on, and she was very generous with her time. In fact, all through her life, I think she was very generous with her time in writing to people. So this is an absolute corker of a letter. I can't say better than that. It really is an absolutely amazing letter. I have not seen one so good for a very long time, even with its envelope, which, although not valuable, is rather nice to have with it. She has become very desirable and very valuable these days. Do you have a sort of an idea?
I haven't a clue.
A ballpark where she is?
Not a
Well,
clue.
10 or 15 years ago, I'd have said that a letter like this, delightfully illustrated, will be worth somewhere in the region of £200 or £300. But nowadays, I'm afraid, so much is the taste for Beatrix Potter that a letter like this would fetch somewhere between £20,000 and £25,000 today.
You're joking.
I'm glad you're surprised.